Everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral. Let's go viral then.
Say let.
Let go.
Let's embrace it. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. And let's give them the experience of their life. That's Roswell for you, baby. Come together. And guys, this is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to share and dance like you just don't care. It's early in the morning. Let's have a day. And like I said, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS.
Good morning and welcome to Speaking Out Loud. I am your host, Rene Ruiz, and along with me is the man with the buys, the man with the tries, the one with the broad chest, the one, the only, John Borba.
Yo, what is going on?
Johnny, let's get the show on the road. How was Chicago and San Francisco? How was San Francisco? How was California?
Good, good. California overall is good. San Francisco was good. Well, we were actually in Santa Clara, hosting where they're going to host the Super Bowl. Man, it was a fun experience to say the least, and that was arguably like the game of the year. There's a few things I could break down about the game. I think we'll touch base on that here in a
So into
second.
that, JB, today what we're going to talk about, we're going to get a little bit into what's going on in the Diggs family's world.
Yeah.
Some news dropped yesterday, obviously, as most of you guys probably saw. Stephon Diggs is in a bit of a mess. There's some allegations going around that he may have potentially strangled his chef. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Also, Trayvon Diggs being released to the Dallas Cowboys. Where will he end up? Will he clear waivers and become a free agent? And where will he go after that? Also, JB, there's a couple games going on today. There's some college football kicking off. There's been college football going on the last few days. There's been a bunch of bowl games, some bowl games that don't matter, but the fun bowl games are going to start. And as we were kind of chuckling before the show, Vandy plays Iowa at 10 a.m. today. Kind of caught us off guard, right? That it's a 10 a.m. start, but we realized it is. We're kind of old heads, JB. We're kind of old heads, but the kids are out of school. High school kids and college kids included. So there will be a 10 a.m. start on ESPN for Diego Pavia, the Albuquerque native, versus Iowa on ESPN. And then to follow that, it'll be the Michigan Wolverines versus Texas Longhorns. That game will kick off at 1 p.m., where Archie Manning will be able to finish off his season. And as he's been reported, he is returning as well. And then to end the night in the college football world, there will be Miami, the college football playoffs, which would be Miami versus Ohio State, and that is a kickoff of 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That game will be interesting because that one will be indoors. I believe that's the one that is in AT&T Stadium. Also, as you can see my hat, the Dallas Stars play today. Good hockey, JB. We're about to transition into a world with no football, so I'm trying to figure out what I want to dabble in. Hockey's been kind of fun. The one thing that I've enjoyed about hockey is that they allow the boys to throw some hands, JB. And if you haven't been watching the NBA stuff, there's been a lot of games, there's been a lot of moments where it's kind of like you kind of wish that same hockey rule applied to the NBA, because there's a couple guys that we would like to see maybe throw a little tussle, or maybe just see if they're really about that business. That's my biggest thing, is because from my experience with basketball players, and I don't know about what your experience has been with basketball players, JB, but basketball players may have some of the biggest egos, respectfully. And I like it. You got to be a little bit of a menace to be a dog in a sport that requires just one person to absolutely take over a game, right? So and sometimes those are the folks that have the biggest cojones, but I just want to see if the cojones are real. That's all I'm saying, JB. I wish they would apply that to the NBA. But shout out to Sweetheart Savior. Woohoo, hockey. But that's enough of the hockey talk there, JB. So what's being reported on Stephon Diggs, and while I pull this up, just curious, do you think Trayvon Diggs is going to clear waivers? And when he does, I think he will, because of the price tag that's put on him currently. I believe if he gets signed on waivers, his value for one game and a playoff run would be at roughly $500,000. Of course, if he gets re-signed, I'm sure they'll be able to prorate that for one game and then whatever the postseason will be. But with that being said, who do you think needs a Trayvon Diggs right now?
Man, it's interesting. You know, it's coming at a time where veteran teams, or maybe like a team trying to add to their roster before the playoff run, can use Trayvon Diggs. But I don't know, man. If you got things rolling on defense right now, I can't. There's not a team that really comes to mind where it's like, man, these guys need a corner. Man, perfect sign up, Trayvon Diggs. Like he hasn't shown us nothing. I mean, this guy's fallen off a cliff pretty quick. That's the only thing, and it's a risk. And then you got the whole thing after the playoff run. What's going to happen after that? Do you re-sign the guy? Let him
But
walk?
I don't think a team that's going to sign
You have
him
to
for the
restructure,
playoffs.
right? You have to restructure.
Well, he's a free agent, so it's like the contract's void, baby. If he
Oh,
if he clears waivers and he's a free agent, nobody has to pick up that contract. At that point, it's just a negotiation. And now, do I want your service for the rest of the season and the playoffs, or
I
do
don't
I
know.
want your service at all?
Yeah, and good point by Aaron. I mean,
If
LA
I
LA's very dependent on Matt Stafford's success, and I think we can see that. So any help that you can get from any other areas on the football team
yeah,
might help in that sort of scenario. As far as the NFC, man, I really don't think a team in the NFC needs a Trayvon Diggs right now to make a run. I think you got that. That side's pretty set.
you know,
AFC,
JB. Whenever I first saw it, the first team that came to mind was the Buffalo Bills. The only reason that
that's what
I
I was.
that I thought Buffalo was because they did try to claim Darius Slay. If you remember, about 3 or 4 weeks ago,
Yeah,
Darius Slay was released by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then the Bills claimed him off waivers. But the Bills, I mean, Darius Slay then went on to retire shortly after, and then he went on a podcast and said, "There's no way that I was playing in Buffalo. I'm
yeah.
not. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to play in a cold place." Um, Obviously, his brother has ties to Buffalo, where he played there previously, but that breakup was kind of a whole thing. So that was the only thing that kind of made me kind of shut down on him going out to Buffalo. But I think Aaron in the comments is right. I think maybe in the NFC you're looking at a team like the Rams that could just use some depth at the position, especially after the last 4 weeks. Yesterday, I read a stat from Next Gen Stat that the Rams the last 4 weeks have given up on average 30 points per game. A complete switch from week 1 through 13 to the end of the season here. So I think whenever you see numbers like that, I don't think an addition like a Trayvon Diggs will hurt you. If anything, it will only benefit you. And if it doesn't work out, guess what? You don't got to play him. You don't have to play him. I don't know what their money situation is, but I don't think it's going to be very expensive to get Trayvon Diggs to come play for a Super Bowl contender like the Los Angeles Rams. Now you look at the AFC, and I mean, immediately you think Pittsburgh, right? They probably need the help. A lot of money's been spent on that defense. The most money in the NFL has been spent on that defense this year, and I mean, they're not looking very promising either. So that's another team where even if Trayvon Diggs isn't as effective as you would like, it's not going to hurt a team that a defense that's not looking very good anyways. So that's the perspective that I'm looking at as JB. I appreciate the way you looked at it more from like a what has this guy done for us lately thing, cuz we can't look past that, right? We have to acknowledge that, are we adding anything? Are we really? But I think the upside from what we've seen from Trayvon in the past, I do think you take the risk, especially going into the playoffs when depth matters. We've seen it, JB. We've seen depth just slowly crumble teams apart or fatigue, where guys just. I mean, when you get to the NFC Championship, it's a battle of the fittest at that point, right?
Whoever's hot,
Yeah.
making a run.
Look at San
You know,
Francisco. Like, which let's just transition though. Let's forget about Stephon Diggs. The situation with Stephon Diggs, I think we have to wait out for more information to come out. It's all allegedly at this point. So I think reacting to it right now would be an overreaction and would
you
be
gotta
a
wait. Yeah.
disservice to what the allegations really are. I mean, he's being alleged to have choked his chef for non-payments, and then you look at the conversations that were had between the two. It doesn't look great for Diggs. But from my understanding, is this is being pushed out to the weekend of the AFC Championship, and then at that point, the lawyers can push it out for another court hearing that can be done in March. That's at least what's being reported from Ian Rappaport. So I think that honestly, this is just a distraction on the Patriots as of now. But this stuff isn't going to get addressed, I think, until after the season's over. So I don't know
Yeah.
that we waste too much time even trying to speculate on what that situation is. But hey, if it's real, Stephon Diggs deserves all the punishment in the world. If it's fake, we have to go like the alligator, the person who's making these allegations should have to face some consequences because I mean we've seen this. We've seen at this point, JB, like I said in the group chat, it feels like we're at a point where it's like so many allegations have been made that are fake that now you do have to wait out for due process because like you can't just jump on Diggs and then come to find out in 3 months that this lady or woman or whatever man whatever it was. I mean it's a she, but there's other stories. There's other stories that are starting to come out on Trayvon Diggs, bro. It's, I mean, on Stephon Diggs, it's crazy. But as that information comes out, we'll report it. And but I don't. I think it will be a disservice if we just overreact to the whole situation.
Yeah.
Tim Foley, lock him up. He's a demon. LOL. Yeah,
Innocent.
the
Hey,
stories
innocent
coming out
till
is
proven
crazy.
guilty. Innocent till proven guilty. So we'll see how that plays out. It's going to be a while. It's one of those things. It's going to be a process. We won't know anything till the off season. Maybe punishment won't even be till next year. Through the league if there is a punishment. So it's still really early. It's
Yeah,
we
and the
gotta.
Patriots came out with a statement saying, "Hey, we're going to
Yeah.
support him until more information comes out."
Yep.
And as you should, as you should. And if the NFL is not doing anything, why should the Patriots? Why should the Patriots jump the gun if the NFL is not doing anything?
Yeah.
Now, will the NFL do anything as of right now? It's a no, according to Ian Rappaport that just reported on NFL Network this morning. But hey, that boy's a wild boy. That's all I know. And the stories that are coming out, that are starting to come out slowly about some of the situations that he's been in. Wow, wow, JB. But some of those stories are, Buddy might be going both ways. And speaking of both ways, let's transition to the pride of the gays. That would be San Francisco. What was the experience out there in
It was,
San Francisco,
it
JB?
was man,
That's
it
the
was a good
best game of your.
experience. It was a good experience, especially for a game like that, which is like something considered like a game of the year candidate for sure. Scoring, no defense, and this is where I've been talking about and being so critical. The difference of that game, and I tagged you in this throw right here, and this was late in the game for Caleb Williams. The difference of this game was the quarterback play. Yes, we saw Caleb Williams make huge plays. Yes, we saw, this is a perfect example right here. Let this clip run real quick and just notice the pass protection. DeAndre Swift is going to be right here. He's going to pick up the blitzer. Caleb bails from the pocket. And this is it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes it ends up good. Sometimes it ends up bad. But if Caleb Williams sits right there in the pocket and hits Devin Duvernay, you can see him show up in your screen really early, crossing the field just naked. Right now,
So right here, you want him to
wide
step
open.
up rather than
You get rid
rolling
of the
out to the
ball.
right.
You throw the ball. You throw the ball. You get 50. You probably score, right? You got a hat on a hat downfield. All he's got to do is just catch the ball.
You're talking about here.
Huh?
You're talking about right here.
Right there. Throw the ball. Now he starts to bail. A pocket quarterback. Back in the
We're coming
day,
after Caleb.
you got Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers. These guys make that throw. And this is where you see Caleb. This is the good part about him and the bad part about him. So the difference in the game, even though there was good quarterback play on both sides, Brock Purdy was a difference maker. He was aggressive. He attacked. Besides that first throw of the game, yeah, 100%. I mean, this is with defense in his face, absolutely. By the time you see Devin Duvernay pop up in the screen, that ball's out of his hands. That ball needs to be out of his hands, and that's a play that a quarterback makes, a pocket quarterback. Phillip Rivers, like even Phillip Rivers, he knows. Like that's just showing kind of, I guess, the aware. Oh man, I had a word for it, but Caleb Williams. My point is that Caleb Williams, yes, he makes great plays, extending the plays out of the pocket, and even that last play of the game too, where everybody kind of arguing that DJ Moore was wide open, which he was, but Caleb, of course, bailed out of the pocket, went left early on a two-man blitz, two-man rush, not even a blitz, and then you got the spy in the middle of the field. You can even argue right there, Caleb Williams, if he steps up, allows his left tackle to pick up that edge rusher, that he has more time in the pocket, that he doesn't even have to scramble to the left. So that's that's the difference that I took from the game, is that Brock Purdy, he was aggressive. Brock Purdy right now is playing arguably the best QB. He's playing. Man, dude, my words are off, dude. It's been a
Oh,
week.
it's early. It's early.
It's been a week,
It's
man.
early.
It's been a week, but like quarterback standpoint wise, man, Brock Purdy, he might be the best in
All
the
that
league right
drinking.
now. As far as what he needs to do for this offense, for them to make a serious playoff push, he's doing everything that he needs to do. If we get this Brock Purdy in the playoffs, being aggressive, um, being decisive, knowing what he wants to do, and I mean, just picking apart
Bro.
the defense all day, it's going to be hard to stop the 49ers. It's just the
And he's
defense.
having
But we've heard things
the
about Fred Warner too, possibly coming back. I don't know.
NFC
I'm not
Championship,
sure.
though. NFC Championship, this Niners defense, which currently is their weakest link, even though they're being led by Robert Saleh, and we've seen glimpses of what this team can do, which is why I say, hey, just go get the addition of Trayvon Diggs. Like, it can only help you, if anything. And we've seen Robert Saleh be able to build a disciplined group. So I agree with you,
That's
though. Brock Purdy is playing unbelievable. Now, will
yeah,
those injuries start to catch up? Like for example, this weekend, which we can kind of transition to that this weekend, you got the 49ers and Seahawks on Saturday playing for not only the division, but for the number one seed. And I started to ask myself yesterday, like who is it more important for? And as the injury report is starting to come out, I mean, George Kittle's questionable to play. He looked pretty cool in those black helmets, which black helmets look pretty sweet for the San Francisco 49ers that they're going to be playing with this weekend. But he's questionable to play. They're going to definitely need him for that game. But the most important piece that got me was Trent Williams being potentially out with a concussion, which is he's doubtful. Typically, when you're doubtful, you're not going to play. So no Trent Williams. That's what scares me. That's what scares me, especially in a week where it feels like the Niners could actually use the bye week a little more than the Seattle Seahawks.
for sure.
Just to get healthy. I mean, this team has been beat up all year. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan should be up there in the conversation, and he is, as he should be, for the coach of the year for what he's done with the team that's just been so injury prone, really. In every place, this team just continues to get hurt, losing their two best players on defense, and still being able to manage. What I was telling my coworker yesterday, JB, the 49ers are essentially what we thought the Cowboys were going to be coming into this year. No defense and an offense that just gets the ball moving. And Brock Purdy is exactly what everybody's been telling us Dak Prescott is. That's what Brock Purdy is right now, honestly. The way he's moving that offense, I know he's got Christian McCaffrey, but it kind of takes you back to that year when Dak, or at least it takes me back to that year when Dak and Zeke, their rookie year, made that run. Not a great defense, but hell of an offense. And that's the run that this 49ers team can make. And I mean, the story behind this 49ers team, JB, if they get the number one seed, they will play the rest of the season at home. That's pretty crazy. Not only that, but you have Mr. Irrelevant. You have that story behind him. It's hard not to root for this 49ers team. Like if you love ball and you love storylines and you love the underdog story or the Cinderella stories, the 49ers are for you. Like for me, the more I'm starting to watch like the off-field stuff, and you see Brock Purdy just having absolute fun. I mean, bro, he's bringing out the white boy moves, and I love it, man. I love the fun that the San Francisco 49ers are having. What comes out to you from San Francisco that just makes kind of yerks at your heart just a little bit?
San Francisco, I mean, at the end of the day, they're just a well-coached team. They're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
well-coached. Salah's got the defense still playing good. Like when they needed to show up right there at the end, they still showed up. It's really good coaching, Kyle Shanahan. There was a play, I think last drive of the game where, the Bears were a little disorganized on offense. And a lot of the times you see the opposing head coach would call a timeout, but there was an instance where like Kyle Shanahan, he noticed that the Bears offense was a little disorganized, and just little things like that, just letting the play out instead of calling a timeout, seeing what the offense is going to run. He noticed that, and then you just let it run. So there's little things. Coaching standpoint is going to help a lot this 49ers team. And they're one of those teams. It's a dark horse. They can make a real run. They can make a real good
Yeah,
run
yeah,
right
yeah,
here. As long as Purdy can play good, it's still be decisive, still be aggressive. A game that was so close, the difference is quarterback play at the end of the day. When there's no defense, no pass rush, the biggest thing is San Francisco does need a pass rush. If they want to beat some of these quarterbacks in the NFC, if you want to beat a Stafford, if you want to beat a Sam Darnold, you got to have Jalen Hurts. You got to have a good pass rush. So that's the thing that worries me the most right now. Of course, defense, but that pass rush specifically, if they can't get to a quarterback, they're going to get torn apart. And they got torn
yeah.
apart
Yep.
by Caleb. He showed what you can do if you have some time, if you can create some time, if you can extend some plays, or if that rush just isn't getting to him. So I think the 49ers, they do need a win. They definitely need to win this next game to get that home field advantage, to get
Yeah,
that bye
for
week.
sure.
I just don't know. I just do not know right now if they can get that done.
Yeah. Any correction on my end? I said Trent Williams may be potentially out with a concussion. I meant a hamstring. The concussion thing. I apologize for that, but it's a hamstring, which is even scarier. I
Hamstring's
almost would
bad.
rather have the concussion than the hamstring injury because that thing just lingers. So that alone, to me, like you're not going to get to the promised land without Trent Williams. So whatever you can do to win this game has to be. I think the Niners need it more. The Niners need this more, so that way they
100%.
can get a little bit of rest and not have to turn around and have to play on the road. Because I mean, that's
100%.
that's the difference in this game, right, JB? You either get
Yep.
the number one seed and you get a bye, or you get the back seat and your fifth seed playing the number two, which can either be Chicago or Philadelphia, which that whole thing's still up for grabs. But let me just read you a couple of next gen stats on the San Francisco 49ers. Christian McCaffrey leads the NFL with 372 touches in 2025, 43 more than any other player. So you're wondering why that offense is moving. And as much credit as we're giving to Brock Purdy, we got to remember that the recipe to success for the San Francisco 49ers is give Christian McCaffrey the football. In 2025 would be McCaffrey's third career season leading the NFL in touches, which would join Eric Dickerson, Emmitt Smith, and LaDainian Tomlinson as the only player since 1970 to lead the NFL in touches in 3 different seasons. I had this guy on my fantasy football team, my championship fantasy football team, JB. And so I got to follow him throughout the year, and boy, oh boy, this engine moves, or this guy is the engine of the vehicle
100%.
the San Francisco 49ers are riding. And to add to your boy here, Brock Purdy has an NFL leading 130 passer rating on third downs in 2025. That is the fourth highest by any qualified quarterback in a season since 2000, only behind Aaron Rodgers in 2009. And in
Wow.
Dante Culpepper. Remember Dante Culpepper in
Duh.
2004? Hey, Dante Culpepper. That was a fun time. That was a fun time for you guys, huh?
Yeah. Miss that. Miss that. Our
Yeah.
last franchise quarterback, supposedly.
And then just to add a little more on the 49ers, the 49ers offense, the 49ers have not punted in the month of December, with their last punt coming on November 30th in their game at the Browns. The 49ers 21 consecutive drives without a punt, and is the fifth longest streak in the NFL since at least 1993, only 6 away from the longest in the span of all time. That's a crazy one. The 49ers have not punted in the month of December, with their last punt coming on November 30th. That might be one of those throwaway stats where you're just like, all right, you're just pulling stuff. But those are the stats where you're just like, damn, that's crazy. I didn't even think of that. But this offense is moving so well that they basically given PTO to their punter. Their punter paid time off, baby. Enjoy it. They
Yep.
probably don't know what PTO is, but we do. And that's what he's been having for the month of December. So Merry Christmas to the punter of the San Francisco 49ers. And Happy New Year's Eve to all you folks. And be careful. Be careful today and tomorrow. But most importantly, be careful today. Don't drink and drive. Call for a ride, baby. Don't drink and drive. Call for a ride, Borba. But JB, um, sorry, JB, where were we going with this? Where were we going? San Francisco 49ers.
San Francisco, man. San Francisco.
That was
The
fun overall,
difference,
though. Yeah.
I mean, it's
Overall, though, San Francisco had a good time. The stadium, like, what's up?
Oh,
What was the
the
stadium like? What was
stadium,
the
man.
atmosphere? The
The
food,
stadium.
the beer. What?
Of course, the food and beer was good. We got some early access where we are getting prime rib. Man, they were cutting that thing straight. They got some good food, man. Early access, man. We were getting whatever you want. They had you name it, they got it, man. And that was for pre access,
What
early
price
access,
of
whatever.
things? Was it well? Like, what was the price of a beer?
$10, $10. But in that
That's,
in
I mean,
that
that's decent.
early access, it was free Coors and free Michelob. So
Is that offered? Is that like just an offer for anybody, or you guys
I
had like a
think it's
pass,
any,
or
I think it's anyone, but you have to pay for the tickets. Like it's an
it's
early
part of the
access
ticket?
pass, so you do have to buy a ticket for it.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right. So we're
yeah.
not just
So
handing these things
no,
out
you
like, hey,
no,
you
you
want some
can't.
prime rib? You want some prime rib? You want
Yeah,
some prime rib? All right. It
yeah.
was y'all section.
They had prime rib. Well, you get the tickets beforehand, and then there's a spot in the parking lot. It's to the right. Not that you would know, but like it's in the parking lot. You go and it says it's red zone early access. You go through it, you go through the stall thing or whatever, and then you're in there. So it's a little section before you get to the stadium. So and then you got to walk out, before the game starts, maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes before you go to the stadium. You find your spot or whatever, get all situated. So, but it was cool, man. They had the other game showing. People were getting into that Philly game, the Philly and Buffalo game. It was just a good experience. So it was fun.
And their
So
stadium, you've been to a couple stadiums, right? You've been to
yeah,
obviously your stadium, Minnesota. You've been to
yeah.
AT&T Stadium. Any other stadium
I've been to the Titans Stadium in Nashville. I've been
in
there
Nashville? Okay,
when I was
nice
younger.
stadium.
I would say the Vikings experience is a million times better, and that's not even me being biased. It's
No,
just I think a home field advantage is it's a thing, but I don't know if it's actually like a thing like in San Francisco, like in Santa Clara. Like the stadium got loud, but it was never. Maybe it's because I didn't have like good enough seats where I was like immersed like close to the field where I could just hear
okay,
the stadium. But like it wasn't that like it was loud, but it wasn't that loud.
gotcha.
Not that
And
loud at
maybe,
all.
and when you say that, I do remember my first experience going to Dallas. And we got left. So Dallas, AT&T, Jerry's World, AT&T Stadium, they have 4 sections, right?
Yep.
If I were to suggest to any of my friends on where to sit to enjoy an actual experience, it would definitely be level 2. Like, you don't need to be
Yeah,
level 1.
section
Level 1
two.
obviously
Yep.
would be the best case scenario, right? But level 2 is pretty solid. Level 3 is like the perfect medium, I think, because you kind of get both. You get the crowd above you and then the crowd below you. But when I was in section 4, I almost felt like an iPad kid. Like,
Yeah.
it was like you watching
And that's
everybody
where I
else
was.
have fun, and then you slowly kinda hear the noise hit you as is exiting the stadium. So
Yeah.
maybe that was the situation that you're in.
I
So
think so.
let's not misjudge it because we can't disrespect the fan base. We
Yeah.
can't disrespect the fan base of
Yeah,
San
yeah.
Francisco. We've seen them go into other stadiums and just completely take over. So I think maybe you were just in a situation where you were kinda
I was in
watching.
nosebleeds. I was in
Oh,
the
okay.
nosebleeds, dude. So it
So that
wasn't too
explains it a
loud
little
up
bit.
there. It's different. It's different for sure. Yeah, because I've been in section twos before, section threes, mostly section twos, and it's completely different. You hear the
Yeah,
noise all around you. You can't even
for sure.
talk, to whoever's sitting next to you. You can't even talk. So
Yeah, because
yeah,
you're just opposed to, like, it bouncing off from here to here to here, and then finally you kinda it's like when you yell in the hallway, it's like, "Hello, hello, hello,
yeah,
hello, hello," and you get that last, "Hello?"
yep,
And you're just like, "Adele? Where?" You know what I
yeah.
mean? That's kinda I think that's what happened. So we can't disrespect San
No,
Francisco fan
can't
base, bro.
can't.
They travel everywhere. They take over stadiums.
Oh, it's true.
I
Yeah,
think SoFi was the home of the San Francisco 49ers at some
yeah,
point. But JB, let's talk about coaches. Let's talk about your coach. As I told you several weeks ago, the Dallas Cowboys need to have their eyes open and they need to spot a defensive coordinator. And I said, hey, maybe Brian Flores, maybe Al Harris. And now conversations are starting to brew about the Dallas Cowboys having conversations with Brian Flores. Now the conversations are really happening. Nah, it's probably just speculations on the internet. But let's listen in to what potentially could be an exit speech, as this is the final year of Brian Flores, so he's up for to either resign or dip out. And this is what he had to say.
Been a lot of talk about my personal situation, and next year. Look, I've said this many times. I've loved my time here in Minnesota. My family loves it.
Key word right there, JB. This is what got me loved.
Yeah.
Continue.
I mean,
The state of Minnesota has been tremendous to me.
Has been.
And
tremendous.
KO mentioned there's been great dialogue, and there has. And now we'll just kind of let the club and my representation handle the rest. And so that's kind of where I'm at on that. I don't, as you guys know, I don't like talking about myself. I think our players are doing a lot of great things on the field, and I don't want to take away from them in any way.
And that's when the PR comment kind of takes over, right?
I think if anything, they deserve all of the recognition. I certainly don't play, as you guys know. And so, with that, open it up to questions. There's been a lot.
What's your reaction to that, JB? My reaction is say goodbye.
that's what you can take from it. But I think the Vikings for sure they want this guy under contract, and I'm sure those talks have probably already started. Like what they want to keep this guy because like we're close, man. We are very close to. I don't know what's going to happen this offseason. There's a bunch of rumors going up. Quarterbacks, Joe Burrow. I saw a bunch of things on Lamar Jackson yesterday. Like this team, we're literally one player away, and that is quarterback. And I don't know if JJ continues to develop and just breaks through. I don't know. I don't know if KOC has the patience for it. I don't know what's going to happen, but we are so close, and I think he knows it too. It's just
Is y'all's GM on the hot seat?
no GM. Yes, GM. I will say he's probably on the hot seat a little bit more than our coach, just because the draft has not been good.
No,
I
your
think
coach, bro. If you guys let go of y'all's coach, you guys are idiots. Then
I
the
don't think
GM
we'll let go of a coach,
should
but
definitely be fired.
there's some
But
like
the
here's
GM,
like my thing is like Kevin O'Connell. By the time we were 4-8, that's when he started adjusting to after we got blown out by the Seahawks. That's when he started calling plays in favor of JJ McCarthy. That's when you saw the turnaround. Of course, we weren't playing very good defenses, but you saw a huge turnaround from JJ McCarthy, throwing 2 touchdowns, throwing 3 touchdowns, maybe 1 interception, batted balls or whatever it might be. And he started really catering to JJ a little bit more and to his success. So that's a big thing too. And I think it finally took this long for him to kind of adapt to that. And does he have patience? Does he want to go through that again next year? I mean, we've seen it. The turnaround from Caleb Williams from year 1 to year 2. We've seen the turnaround from Drake May, year 1 to year 2. How much patience does this guy have, knowing that he's got the team around him? He's got the receivers. He's got a decent O-line play. He's got the defense, obviously, but he's got the receivers. He's got the defense. What do you want to do this offseason? That's a huge thing. So I have no clue what's going to happen this offseason. But
let me put a little bit of pressure on you. Is JJ McCarthy the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings in 2026? Yes or no?
I can't tell you that. I say there's about a 65-70% chance that he's starting quarterback. I do say it's above average. He's got a shot.
I
But
don't feel good.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what.
We've
If
seen
any of our buddies are watching this and they're Minnesota Vikings fans, the way you just answered that, they're like, "Damn, man, here we go again, 2026."
I know.
It does not feel good. That does not feel like a comfortable situation to be in. So
I know.
I'm assuming that you're looking for a Hail Mary at the quarterback position. Is that what we're thinking?
I think if we can't absolutely hit gold, if we can't get a Joe Burrow, if we can't get somebody like that, I think we bring in somebody, maybe a Jacoby Brissett,
Joe
somebody.
Burrow, Borba.
Yes, we can make it work. That's
That's
the
not even
rumor.
up. That might be the lesser of all the stories of the
No.
quarterbacks that are going
Then
to be
there's no one
available
else. There's
next
no
year.
one else. I don't want a Kyler Murray. I don't want anybody else. I don't want nobody else. Give me
Like your
Joe Burrow
options
or
are
give me
Kyler, Tua, The Lamar
No,
Jackson stuff seems to be a little bit
I don't know.
legit.
Well, Lamar Jackson, I'm hoping that he's, if he's going to come to Minnesota, I think they need to make sure that he's healthy, that he's going to be moving around like how he's always been moving around. But I don't know if that's going to be a great fit in a KOC scheme. I'm not a big fan of that. For me, it's Joe Burrow or Jacoby Brissett. Bring in one of those guys. You either go all in with Joe Burrow, do what you got to do, give up a couple, 3 first-round picks the next 3 years, something like that. You go all in and you make it fit in the cap. But I don't know. Then you probably get rid of Jordan
That's far
Addison.
fetched.
You
That
don't
is
you
far
don't sign
fetched.
Addison back for something like that. So you're either going all in or you're putting competition in the quarterback room for JJ McCarthy, which I almost feel better about that. I think I feel a little bit
Just
better
bringing
about
in
let him
competition.
progress a little bit. We've seen it. We've seen this. We've seen the progression of what Bo Nix has done in his second year. We've seen Drake May. We've seen Caleb Williams. Just set this guy up with good coaching, set this guy up with a good team around him for success. And I think we get it. Like we have 8 wins. We're literally 500 with 3 different quarterbacks this year. We're 8-8. Imagine if we had Imagine it like I'm not even going to say imagine if we had another quarterback. Just imagine if we had JJ McCarthy for all the games. I think we're fighting for a playoff spot this last game of the year. I think this Packers game means a lot more. If JJ McCarthy does not get hurt, you can't tell me that we're wrong. In all these close games that we lost what? A 7-point game to Philly. We lost a 5-point game or something like that to Baltimore. You can't. We lost that stupid kickoff return to the Bears a few weeks back. We lost by 2 points to them. Like we're right there. We're right there. And if JJ stays healthy, I think we squeeze out another extra win. We might be at 9-10 wins by now. I 100% believe it. That injury slowed him down. It slowed him down. It slowed down the him and KOC getting on the right page when it came to the play calling, and it just slowed down the whole process. So that's what sucks. And you don't want to go into the next year with all these questions about is our quarterback injury prone. You can't do that. You
Yeah.
gotta bring quarterback competition into the room for JJ. That's going to help him get better, and that's going to make sure that if he does go down, that we do have a viable backup. So bring in somebody like a Jacoby Brissett. I'm okay with that. I am
Okay.
100% okay with that. And put him on a 1-year deal. If McCarthy don't work out, we'll find out next year.
He said it sounds like a Cowboys fan.
I don't know. I don't know.
Just a little bit.
For me, I
Okay.
don't know how it's not making sense. The guy's played
No,
what?
it
He's missed
does make
eight
sense, but
games. He's missed 8 games this year, 7, 8 games this year.
yeah, no,
You
it
get
it
those
makes it
7
makes
starts
it makes
back,
it makes a bit of sense. It makes a bit of sense, but I just think like with I guess my pushback would be like we've seen Caleb Williams show multiple glimpses of being a great quarterback. We've
and
seen Bo Nix.
we've seen that out of JJ McCarthy, his 6, 7 starts. We've seen glimpses. We've
I
seen
mean,
what he can
have
do.
we
We see
though?
what he
Like
did
we
against
can like JB, my biggest thing is like we can look back in the history of these other quarterbacks' career and go like, all right, they were the reason that that team was good. Now we go down JJ McCarthy's track record. I mean, he was great at handing the ball off. He was great at managing games in college. Now the speed of the game changes, and I think that's where we're seeing a little bit of his downfall is that he's just not catching up to the speed of the game yet.
Okay, then explain his last 2 or 3 starts.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas Cowboys defense. That's take that with a
That's
grain
what
of
you got to
salt.
start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. Look at that 4-game stretch that we lost. We played the Seahawks. We played Baltimore. We played Philly. We had a tough schedule. Oh yeah, he didn't play for Philly, but um,
And the
um,
guy, I mean, the guy, I get you. Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you. Hey, I'm on your team. I want
if
your
he
team
plays
to
a
do good.
full, if
I
he
hope
doesn't
Jay
miss a game
does
this
good.
year, if he doesn't miss a game this year, I think he's got more experience under his belt. Like we didn't know what everybody thought Caleb Williams was going to be a bust. He had the most criticism out of all the quarterbacks last year. Now look, this team's about to win a division. They're about to be the 2 seed, maybe 3
Yeah,
seed,
but the
something like
bus
that.
thing that was an overreaction to a guy that they also told us was going to be the LeBron
This
James of
guy's an
quarterbacks.
overreaction because he came out one week and had 9, and now like, come on, dude. It's overreaction. I mean, he iced the game
Okay.
against the Lions.
Okay, so
He
all I'm saying is that whenever I ask you the question, is JJ McCarthy going to be the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings in 2026? I would like you to come out with your chest just like you just did right now, defending JJ McCarthy. Don't come out giving me
but
that. Well,
it's realistic.
60%, maybe. I'm a
It's
bit nervous.
realistic.
Like, nah, come out with your chest, JB. Let them know. Have some
It's
confidence in your
realistic though.
quarterback. Damn it. Come on.
This team is ready to win now. It's realistic, and we
Yes, it
cannot have
is.
nobody slowing us down. I mean, if JJ McCarthy is not ready next year, like somebody, whoever they bring in is going to be ready. Whoever they bring in is going to be ready to play, to start, to win games. I'm telling you, we only need average
No,
QB play to win 10 games. If we keep
with a
this
good
same
defense
roster,
coordinator, but your defense coordinator will probably be shipped off this offseason,
you say
JB. With
probably.
that being said,
I don't know.
let's move on. Let's move on. Let's
I don't know.
let's move
There's
on.
just everything's up in the air right now. It's too soon to say. They want to
It
do
is,
everything they can to keep
which
Brian Flores in, and
I think
he should
that's the
stay.
key. That's the key within these next couple weeks for the Minnesota Vikings is focus on bringing back Mr. Flores, because that's the reason that we've seen so much success on that defense over there. Without him, I don't know what that team looked like next year. But JB, let's talk a little bit about the current playoff bracket that's happening in the NFL. Look at this picture, JB. And what is your favorite matchup that you are seeing here? Mine immediately. I look at the Los Angeles Rams and the Philadelphia Eagles, because to me, those are the two teams that will get to the Super Bowl. And if one of them gets bounced immediately, I mean, it feels like the path to the Super Bowl isn't the most difficult in the world, in my opinion. In my opinion, like I was telling my wife yesterday, I was like, man, and 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 whoever's in the chat right now, if you're a Philly fan, let's talk to me here. When I watch the Eagles play, like it's got to be the most frustrating thing that I have ever seen, JB. I don't like them. I can't stand them. I enjoy what they're going through, but when I try to put myself in the Eagles shoes, in the Eagles fans' shoes, and you look at the state of the NFC right now, like the path to the Super Bowl really isn't. It's not. I mean, obviously it's difficult, but it's not the most difficult. Like you look at the quarterbacks that they're going to be going against, and all of them have question marks, like big question marks, right? Like you look at the Seahawks. We don't know what Sam Darnold is going to be. The last time we saw him in a pressure situation, which we're going to get a lot of those things answered this weekend against the San Francisco 49ers team. But of course, coming out of that game, we're going to bring up we're going to bring up the injury of Trent Williams, like how effective that was, blah blah blah. So we're not really going to feel the pressure on him until that first week of the playoffs. And if they get a bye, that's going to be a whole nother situation. Because I get the feeling that this Seahawks team is similar. I always compare it to the Cowboys because that's the team that I know the most, right? But this feels like that 49 that nah, screw the Cowboys. I'm not even going to go there. But the Seahawks, question mark. Obviously, the Panthers and Bucks, fat question mark. San Francisco's defense, big question mark. The the Packers, the injuries are going to
One
catch
and
up to
done.
them, and then
One
the
and done.
Bears, we don't know, right, with the Bears. So to me, the Rams and Philly are the most promising, and Philly, watching them, it's like their defense is so good. Their defense is so good that defense can carry them to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. And if that offense can even slightly play decent, like, bro, they're blowing teams out of the water. Honestly, if Saquon Barkley can get going, which like I still don't understand why there hasn't been any types of move made at the offensive coordinator position. Like Vic Fangio, I don't understand how he's still making play calls. Even watching how I mean that game was shite against the Buffalo Bills. The wind, the rain, it was a bad situation. But you would think that they would be a little more creative in the running game. That's it. That's all. Like it feels like there's no creativity with them, and they're not making any moves. And it's like Sirianni's supposed to be this offensive guy, right? He's supposed to be an offensive guy, but he's afraid to take over play calling when you know that the guy below you is not already doing a great job. So the only thing to me that's holding Philly back is the coaching, but they have the personnel. They literally have the personnel to do anything. And what's most important is these guys are winning games. Like at the end of the day, JB, what have we been saying about this Philly team? They just know how to win. Like regardless of the situation that they're in, at the end of the day, when the game is over, there's always a W on their win-loss column. So watching this team, to me, it's like, how aren't we blowing teams out? When are they going to figure it out? When are they going to flip that switch? Like in my head, if I want to be a delusional fan, I'm I'm thinking like they're going to flip the switch. They've been saving the plays until the playoffs. Like Jalen Hurts is going to be the best runner in the league. Like this playoff run for all these teams, and correct me here if you think I'm wrong. It's going to come down to which quarterback can create the most outside the pocket. I think that this year the two Super Bowl teams are going to be potentially two mobile quarterbacks. Like Trevor Lawrence, if he finds his inner Jalen Hurts and where he just utilizes his legs, the Jaguars are going to the Super Bowl in my opinion because they can't stop the run. They're not going to be able to stop the run. They got all these weapons on the outside with Brian Robinson Jr. And then you got your boy Myers. Jacoby Myers, and then ETN. Spread the field, and you got nothing. You got nothing but open field to work with, which is what we saw last week against the Indianapolis Colts. Like, am I wrong here with the San Francisco 49ers? Am I missing, or do you feel the same? Like this team feels like they're the best team. They're just not figuring it out offensively.
You're talking about Philly?
Yeah.
All right. Let me change your perspective on Philly.
Okay.
Here's my thing. I think Philly, okay, they have a first place schedule this year. They beat the Bills. They beat the Rams. They beat the Bucks. That was a part of their first place schedule. Here's what you're going to get. You're going to get Jalen Hurts. He's not going to give you too much. He's not going to give you nothing less. Like Jalen Hurts is going to do what the game needs to be done to win the game. Like, so what I mean by that is if he needs to throw for 100 yards, 150 yards, he's going to do that. But he's going to make the plays needed to win the game. I don't think they're going to blow out anybody this year. They're not going to do anything like that. Jalen Hurts is going to give you exactly what he needs to give you for this team to be in position to win the game by the time the clock hits zero. And I think that's the formula, and you got to go through Philly. I'm going to say it right now. We've been so skeptical about everybody, about the offense, about, they can't get it together, this and that, A.J. Brown, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, Jalen Hurts is going to be the reason why this team is in the NFC Championship. And I will say that right now. I'm calling NFC Championship game, Philly, Seattle, NFC Championship. And I think Philly makes it back to the Super Bowl. I really do. Because they have the most consistent quarterback play. And it doesn't need to be 300 yards a game. It doesn't need to be 4 touchdowns. Give me my tush push. Give me 125 yards through the air. As long as I'm converting third down in the fourth quarter when we're down by 2 points, we're going to win the game. And that's all you need from Jalen Hurts. He's not going to light you up on the stat sheet. He's not going to do anything spectacular, but he's going to make the plays to win the game. And I'm telling you right now, the Bears can't overcome that. The Packers can't overcome that if they play in the second round.
Their defense is just so good. Their defense is so good. And look, Aaron, this is exactly what I said. Let me put my Delulu hat on. Look, Aaron said, I've been saying we are waiting to the playoffs. That's why Saquon has been holding back. That's like my thought process.
I don't think it's that he's holding back. I just think they haven't gotten it together. That's what I mean. They just haven't got. They have no identity. They're not going to have an identity this year. But it's not going to matter because they're going to win games.
The fault of the coach.
They're going to win games in the fourth quarter. I'm telling you, and like the Rams have the best shot to beat them, but they are so dependent on Matt Stafford's success right now. We've seen it. Like everybody's, going for Drake May now he's the MVP favorite now after that game.
Which is baloney.
which is I still don't know, like 30 touchdowns to 42 touchdowns. That's a huge difference. The type of schedule, the Rams had a way tougher schedule than the Patriots. I think Stafford is still your MVP. I really do. Like, I don't know. I think it's,
A
Drake
lot
may
of the
got
a lot of the
Drake
a
may
lot of
got
the
5 touchdowns
criticism,
against the Jets. Like, come on, dude.
yeah, and a
Like,
lot of the
come on.
criticism is coming because Matthew Stafford missed that game-winning throw. That kind of hurt his stock a little bit, which
Yeah,
which
but
is kind of nuts, right? Like
like
if they win that game, we come out of it like, hey, Matthew Stafford,
it's just
even though had a bad first half, comes
yeah,
back, locks in MVP. La la.
this
I'm
this team is they're way too reliant on Stafford right now, and they're way too reliant because the defense is just they've been so trash this past month. Honestly, they really have. And if they can't get it together, they're going to be one and done. Like I said, this team has the best shot to beat the Eagles, but I don't know if they could turn it around. Their defense has not been playing good, and I don't think without a good defense, you're not going to stop. We saw what Bijan did to him. I don't know if you guys remember what Saquon did to him last year, but
in
it
the
seems
snow.
like it's going to happen. It seems like it's brewing up. Like Saquon's going to have a huge game when
Yeah,
they
him and
meet,
Jalen.
if they
Him and
meet.
Jalen. Him and
Yep.
Jalen.
And I
Him
think
and Jalen.
if they can't stop Saquon, if they can't stop the ground game, Philly's going to win that game, and Philly's going to be in the NFC Championship before we know it. Before
Like
we know it.
like this stat right here is what concerns me about the Philadelphia Eagles, but I don't think it's a personnel issue. I 100% think this is on the offensive coordinator and Nick Sirianni.
100%.
Jalen Hurts, who did not complete a pass in the second half in the Eagles' Week 17 win over the Bills, won his second game of 2025 without a second half completion.
Because he
Also in Week
doesn't
4
need
at
to.
Tampa Bay.
Like, this is what we need. Okay, we're saying that everything's wrong. The offensive coordinator sucks. Like, they're never going to figure it out. Blah, blah, blah. He didn't need to. He didn't need to. Okay? This is it. This is the Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts might be the most aware quarterback in the NFL of what is needed to be done. He understood, okay, they're locking up the pass game right now. We can't get it going. I don't need to do that right now. I can win the game in other ways. We can let the other guys take over. Saquon, the running game, him in the running game. Like you can win the game in other ways, and I think that's why Jalen Hurts, other quarterbacks, a Josh Allen, somebody like that, they would have tried to force something. We've seen Josh Allen kind of force some stuff in that game, and it kind of that's why they lost. But
Yeah, but JB, like,
Jalen Hurts.
no,
Jalen Hurts.
no,
He's
you're off
smarter.
on this one.
He's
You're
smarter
off.
than everyone.
You're off on
He's
this.
smarter than everyone on the field, and that's the end. That's it. I'm telling you, that's the difference. That's the different perspective. Instead of blaming the coach, instead of blaming Sirianni, instead of blaming Patullo, nope. Hey, Jalen Hurts has overcome that. There is no blame. He's got that dog mentality. He's got that Michael Jordan mentality, dude. It's the mentality.
Okay.
He's so self-aware. He is so aware of what's going on in the game. He knows what he needs to do and what he doesn't need to do. He doesn't need to force anything. He understands the defense is playing good, blah, blah. Bills can't score on us right now. I don't need to do anything. Okay, if the Bills take the lead, if they do something, okay, then I need to do something. You might call it complacency, but he's just aware in the moment. It's self-awareness. It's self-awareness that he knows what he needs to
I
do
call it awareness.
when his number is called. When his number is called, has he really let us down when he was down by 20-something points against the Rams earlier? When he was down against the Bucks?
Nope.
He put the game in his hands because he needed to. He's not going to give you more. He's not going to give you less. He's going to give you what is needed. And that's why the Eagles are going to the NFC Championship. I promise you, they will be fighting for the Super Bowl in 3 or 4 weeks.
Mark his words. Jalen Hurts is the most aware quarterback in the NFL. All right, JB, hold on. Let me.
I don't know why maybe it was the hoop earring or something. I don't know why I compared him to MJ either.
Yeah, MJ's the GOAT. That's all you said. That's all you. Jalen Hurts, put him up in the rafters alongside the legends like a Michael Jordan, a Kobe Bryant, a LeBron James. Hang up Jalen Hurts, what's some of the greatest of all time. Put him up there with the Tom Brady, the Aaron Rodgers. That's what just came out of your mouth, JB. I love it. You got my boy Aaron lost in the sauce. Now he's really thinking, hey, we've been hiding the plays. All we're doing is setting it up for the playoffs. But JB, let's reel it in a little bit.
It's all
That
right here.
Buffalo game, that was we can't act like Philly. I mean, Philly dodged a bullet, right? They definitely dodged a bullet. Josh Allen a missed throw by one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Probably won't happen again. And if you look at Philly's season throughout the year, they've definitely we continue to say they just win. They just know how to win. At some point, that is going to catch up to them, JB. They're gonna need some type of offensive progression, bro. They need something because this that they're putting out isn't gonna get it done in the playoffs. This what they're putting out offensively isn't gonna get it done against a Rams team. Because for the Rams, you can make the same argument where they just maybe been just a little bit off defensively, but that might be because of the pressures that the offense have been putting on them. For example, last week Matthew Stafford throws 3 interceptions. They get stopped on a 4th and 1 in the red zone without a Devontae Adams. So you could honestly make the argument that since Devontae Adams, this team has looked different because they haven't been able to complete drives. That's the argument that I'm going to make for the Rams, and which is why I think that this matchup is the best out of all of them in the NFC and the AFC, because these two we're basically getting a Super Bowl preview if two NFC teams were allowed to go at each other in a Super Bowl game. Because if you put either one on each side, I think they would still be the
I really
favorites
hope they.
going to the Super Bowl. Honestly,
I hope they don't play first round. I really hope. I hope the Bears lose. I hope the Lions win. I think the Lions can beat the Bears, and that would drop them to the 3 seed if the Eagles win. Correct?
yeah, and then we would get Chicago,
And
Rams, and Philly,
yeah, let's go ahead and do
Green Bay.
that. Let's do that. Let's get rid of all the NFC North teams in the first round, and then
Which
we
hey,
can get the
that's
actual playoffs
while you
started.
say that, I think Jay asked us a couple weeks ago, how much do divisional championships mean, or how much should they mean? And I was going to ask you that right now, but with that statement that you just made about getting your divisional opponents out of the playoffs, I've always wondered, do isn't it better if your division wins? Doesn't it doesn't it give your division a little more credit, or
I
is that only
never.
do you think that's only part of college?
No,
Because
I
in college,
never.
whenever you see a bowl game, what I've noticed on X, in bowl games, a lot of teams are like, well, they're part of the SEC, so I want the SEC to win. They're part of the Big Ten, so I want the Big Ten to win. So I
No,
asked you guys also in the comments why
no
JB answers
shot.
this. Do you want to see your division have success, or
No,
are you on the other end where you're like, hell nah, bounce in the first
no.
round?
That's crazy. No way. I would never. If I ever see the Lions, if I ever see the Packers in another Super Bowl, if I ever see the Bears in a Super Bowl before the Vikings, heck no. Because last year I was so scared that the Lions were going to be in the Super Bowl, I would be like, this team has been so trash for since the beginning of time, and to be 2 years good and then go to the Super Bowl, I would be disgusted. I would hate my team. I would hate my team. No shot, dude. There's no
Yeah.
shot. Give it to somebody else. I'm rooting for the other. I'm rooting for the AFC. I usually root for the AFC. Man, and
It's
you know what's crazy too? Okay, we'll talk about this more, but tomorrow, when we talk about the AFC playoffs, but
okay.
without having Patrick Mahomes in playoffs, we don't know what's gonna happen, especially in the AFC side. It is a
The Wild Wild
inconsistent,
West, baby.
unknown territory. What the heck? I think football needs Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. I think they need Patrick Mahomes in
Nah,
the playoffs because
nah.
we'll know what we're getting from the quarterback position.
Yeah, I
But I will say
saw. I
this:
saw.
I hope the Texans play the Broncos. I hope the Texans. That is my thing.
We
I've been
need that.
talking about it for weeks.
We need it.
We
We
need
need
that.
that matchup.
We need that.
That's been our most
Send the
watched clip.
Broncos home. Send the Broncos
That's been our
home.
most watched clip. JB criticizing Bo Nix and the Broncos. And boy, did the Broncos fans come after us when you made that statement, JB. A whole lot of you boys don't know ball, blah blah blah. That good stuff. But the AFC, I don't necessarily think. And we'll touch on it more tomorrow. But I don't, I don't think it's any less. I mean, obviously, it would be better if we had the Patrick Mahomes and the Joe Burrows and those guys in the playoffs, obviously. But if we change our perspective just a little bit, shift it to the beauty of what defense is, some of the best defenses are on the AFC side of the ball. Now, maybe will we watch some boring ass games? Probably. But if you love defense, bro, we might get a hell of a 13-10 game out there in the AFC, and I'm here for it. I am here for it as long as we have like JJ Watt calling the game, somebody interesting in the booth in this on the CBS team, him or Tony Romo. Chef's kiss, Borba. Chef's kiss. But with that being said, JB, it is 7:32. Let's send these beautiful people off to work. The last day of work before most people are off on New Year's. So with that being said, we tell you guys be safe. Don't drink and drive. There's too many services out there offered to take you home at a cheaper price. It's better that you pay $20, $30 for a ride to get home rather than having to pay a bunch of DWI and court fees. So guys, be safe, drink safely, drink responsibly. And if you don't drink, and we probably shouldn't, we want to wake up great tomorrow morning. We want to wake up energized, juiced, ready to start our New Year's resolution. As most of the world, I'm sure, like 99% of the population, their New Year's resolution is we're going to eat better next year. We're going to start working out next year.
That's a high
As you
number.
see, as you see your
That's
gyms
a
get
really high
flooded,
number.
as you see your gyms get flooded, let's not criticize those that are trying to change their lives. Let's not criticize them. Let's encourage them. Let's not say, hey, this is just a New Year's resolution that's going to die out in a week or two and you're just going to pay a gym membership for the entire year for no reason. No, no, no. Let's not judge it. Let's embrace it and let's say, hey, yeah, tell your friend to tell a friend to come work out with us. Body by Borba. Get it. The man with the buys, the man with the tries, the one with the broad chest. It's been a hell of a year. It's been a fun year for Speaking Out Loud. Probably our most fun that we've had in a long time. And if we reflect back on what SOL has been, we've went from drinking at 8 o'clock a.m. to having a glass of coffee, waking up at 6:30 a.m. Monday through Thursday to talk sports. JB, it has been a pleasure talking sports with you this year, bro. I love you. Have a great day. Those of you watching that have been rocking with us, we love y'all. Y'all have a great day. Be safe and happy New Year's. We will see you tomorrow morning at time to be TBD, but I'm thinking 9 o'clock. That's what we're thinking, right, JB?
Not too bad. That's good.
9 a.m. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning to talk AFC playoffs. And JB has a little bit to say about Bo Nix, and he has a little bit to add on Caleb Williams. So we'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Don't forget to use the phone, 575-808-9307. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS. Happy New Year's. See ya.